So I'm allowed to do whatever I want, and I like it. I like expressing myself. I'm it's who I am. Don't tell me what to do. All these different things. So, what do you say to someone that might be feeling that way?
Express away, but don't expect that woman to be wholesome. She can express however she wants. I could sit there and express myself through nudes and bikini pictures, etc. But then don't put wholesome traditional values, don't assign them to me, because I'm not assigning them to myself. So if she's expressing herself that way, you as a man, how dare you expect her to have these complete opposite values? Right. Yeah. So just accept her for who she is. She's not wrong. I'm not actually saying she's wrong, by the way. I actually don't think there's anything wrong in that. But have a realistic expectation of what that woman's going to bring to your life.
In terms of a relationship.
In terms of a relationship, yeah. Right. She's somebody who craves knowing that she's still sexually attractive to other men. Because that's what the audience will be. Women don't follow women who just post stuff like that. So that's what her audience is. It's that woman. So why would you try and create, why would you force her? Why would you try and get her to contort into your values and what you want out of her? She's going to be more promiscuous. She's going to be more unfaithful, but that's okay. But the problem is you either accept her for who she is or you go somewhere else, but don't expect that woman to have the values that you want them to have.
You've been coaching people for a while now.
Yeah.
And you said there are what are the main themes you see that people struggle with the most in your one-on-one or online coaching?
I would find that the main thing for men is the addiction to pornography. Yeah.
How many men are addicted to pornography today?
I would say that, unfortunately, in the younger generation, here's the problem with the addiction to pornography. When I have a man on the phone to me and he's got, and this is irrelevant whether he's handsome, not handsome, whatever it is, in shape, not shape, but he's having struggles with women. He's having some problem with women. They're either transactional, using him, cheating on him, whatever it is. I don't ask any question other than, are you addicted to pornography? That's the first question. They'll come to me on the phone and say, my girlfriend's doing this, I don't know how to get over. First question I ask is, are you addicted to pornography? Because there's a masochism in there that they don't realize. And they'll say, no, I'm not addicted to pornography. I watch it maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, or whatever. But I don't know if that's healthy. I don't think there's any level that's healthy. And what pornography does, unfortunately, to men is it allows them intense gratification without the fear of rejection. And what men need is rejection in order to build their bravery and redirect them. If I'm really overweight, or if I'm not making a lot of money, I'm living in my mom's basement and I go out into the dating world, I realize women don't find that attractive. So I redirect myself. You
have to improve. You have to overcome. You have to let go. You have to...
And learn from the feedback.
And have courage to take consistent action and build self-control.
Exactly. But what pornography allows me to do is maintain that state whilst getting the gratification I want. And the other thing it does to men is it blurs their true value. So they will see these beautiful women online, go into the real world, and say if he's a 4 out of 10, he should be aiming for a 4 out of 10 woman, but he'll think, I don't want that girl. I'm not attracted to this girl. And they'll be aiming for the 12 out of 10s, and they can only access them through escorts or through, in America, they call it passport bros. Have you heard of that concept?
Passport what?
Where they go to maybe the Philippines, or they go to other countries and marry women and, kind of like a 90-day. Then they try and do it that way instead to access those type of women, because they've been so addicted to pornography. They've got a skewed perception of what their true value is and what their true match is.
What do you think pornography is doing to the male brain chemically?
It's making them incapable of connection, both physically and emotionally. Physically, they have erectile dysfunction, and I'm talking to 28-year-old boys that will have erectile dysfunction and they can't perform. And emotionally, porn doesn't model intimacy. It actually models how to make hate with a woman, not how to make love. So they learn how to spit on women, they learn how to degrade women, they know how to make fun of minorities, they learn all of these things, and they think they're learning all these skills. But when you speak to women, they'll say the least satisfying sexual encounters with a man that's addicted to porn, because he's reenacting and not reading her body. He's not learning.
He's not intuitive.
He's not
connected.
Not at all.
He's not there in the moment.
So not only is he doing all these moves that she's not connecting with, but he then can't even lift his cup because there's an erectile dysfunction. So imagine the experience from a woman's end. She's just like, this is the worst experience I've ever had. He is also realizing, okay, she's not enjoying this. Let me just stick to porn because I'm terrible at sex. So that rejection, that encounter is so negative that they go deeper into the rabbit hole, unfortunately. And can I just say, pornography is not good for women either. I think the rise in bisexuality in women is predominantly from exposure to porn. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's...
How many women are watching porn from people you talk to or coaching or just...
Not as much, but what I find really difficult about pornography and really disempowering is the majority of the time that women are watching it, they're doing it for their partner's pleasure, very limited for their own. So they're watching girl on girl and they're watching things on that, and they're engaging on that behavior primarily from a male gaze, for male attention, for men to be finding them satisfying rather than their own thing, because women tend to be more emotionally connected to sex. So if they're engaging a lot of pornography, it's for male desires. So they're almost catering to the male gaze in a way that's helping them lose their own identity. They're signing up for degradation. They're signing up for confused sexual identity. They're signing up for a society that only caters to male sexual gratification. So I find it more bizarre that women watch porn.
Do you think, why do men watch more porn than women?
Because I think for men, it's the ability to access any type of woman without the fear of rejection. And men are more likely to be rejected when they go and seek sex in the real world. Yeah, and so I think it's just the bypassing rejection is what they're doing far more than women.
Why are women not into porn as much, though? Why do they want to watch it?
Because without an intimate connection, sex is limited in how gratifying it can be. Yeah, it's almost like having a cake without sugar. Like without the ingredient of intimacy, it's just a bunch of empty calories and it's not worth the taste. So that's what porn is like for women, without actually caring about somebody. And sometimes they'll watch it, but they're still trying to learn how to please their partner through it. So there's an element of my partner. Whereas for men, it's just to bypass the rejection that they don't want to face.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it is a coping mechanism for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like drugs, alcohol, food, pornography.
But the thing is, it's so easy for me to be judgmental, but I didn't grow up where the smartphone had access to pornography. I don't know what kind of person I would have been. And I also have a religious kind of reason to avoid porn. So I'm not saying this to be holier than thou. I'm very aware that if I was in a different circumstance, I'd be just as addicted. But it's so bad for us. It's so bad for couples and intimacy and everything. It's so terrible. And it's something that's almost just accepted. What I find so shocking is if I was to watch a child be abused and get joy out of that, I would be arrested, rightly so. But cut to 20 years when that child is now engaging in voluntary sex work, which is usually most sex-offended children go on to do sex work, is accepted.
Voluntary,
because what happens when a child's been abused, they often try and regain control by engaging in sex work.
Wow.
It's their way of reestablishing control and boundaries that were ripped off them. So they're thinking, now I'll monetize it and take some control. So usually most people who work in the sex industry have a history of child abuse, sexual abuse. So I just think watching vulnerable people kind of re-traumatize themselves and getting joy out of that should be somewhat more spoken about rather than just seeing it as an industry. It's not an industry that is created on movies where it's people who went through school and it's usually people who went through trauma have now found themselves working in porn, and we're okay to just watch it all day, every day. It's scary, right?
What would you